Okay, hey everyone, Melissa here. How's everyone doing? I am sitting in a different place today in my home. So you can see a little picture here. My son is a teacher, so he's got this kid's picture hung up. Let's go above that. So that's a lot of my son's awards for Boy Scouts, including a picture with his brothers over here. So if you blow that up, you can see it better. So I want to talk about different ways to afford children. So I used everything. I used tons of resources. So I used Boy Scouts, and I got scholarships for like everything, including pretty much the uniform. And then one of my sons was really good at sewing, so he did a lot of the sewing instead of getting another uniform, etc. They went to camp a few times. They went to Civil Air Patrol is another program they were part of. One of my sons, I got a scholarship for encampment. Volunteered a little bit there, helping with the uniforms. And, I have done some volunteering, like nursery at the church or food pantries, but most of my volunteering is now because I have the time now. So, as I volunteer for a pro-life organization, I am getting going on my nonprofit. And I have tons of books to read. I'm still sick today, so I am feeling a little bit better though, so I probably will start getting into reading them more. I did do an overview the other day of the books I have. So we want to stop abortion. Kristen Hawkins had a post saying you can't be a Christian and be for abortion, and that's very true. It's a fundamental belief we have in life. Although there are exceptions, and I did post this, that when I was a kid, I had a great aunt. She invited me and my brother to church, and we went for a very short time. I want to say maybe a month, maybe two. I must have been like 6 or 7, and someone had me fix my hands and ask Jesus into my heart. I didn't understand it, but I did believe in God. So years later, with a forced abortion, do I believe God was there with me? Definitely. I do believe that. And, I do feel that I always had a belief in God, but once I truly heard the gospel and understood it, I was saved after my firstborn son. With my secondborn son, I was busy with him, and then another one right after, bringing them all to church. So somebody had mentioned in one of the comments, and I have it in my community section, saying, oh, you shouldn't have kids basically unless you can afford them. And I just did a video on how to have kids when you cannot afford them. Even my mother-in-law would be like, oh, you have another one? Where are you going to put this one? And we had 3 in a trailer. No, we had, I think it's when we had our first one, family was like, where are you going to put the second one? And I'm like, in the same room? There's such a thing as bunk beds. So the time we had our 4th, it's like, where are you going to put him? And I'm like, he's going to be in our room with us. And then we had a 5th one. And so as we had our 4th and 5th one with like 6.5 years apart, the older ones were starting to leave. Plus we had another room built on. So you can do it. You can. That sounds crazy. We were in a trailer for 23 years, but I was very focused on homeschooling. And before we moved into the house that we moved into and rented, we did have like plenty of extra money. It was just like, what are we supposed to do with this? We were very frugal, and we were just like, let's have some fun and reward ourselves some more. And we did enjoy living on a very low income. And then we chose to get something together really nice. So as we talk about being able to afford children, this person suggested unless you can pay for college for your kids, you should not have kids. And I've just been debating like, hey, last time I knew 18 is an adult and your kids should do it on their own. And I said I actually had one that served in the military and has his college degree as a teacher. And she's like, oh, that's awful. That's awful that your son had to, basically go to, go in the military in order to get a degree. And so she had a negative view about it. She's like, I wouldn't want to do that. War is awful. And I wouldn't have my kid do it that way. And she's like, but that's me. And I'm like, you know what? My son did well in the military, which he did. He did very well. I mean, he hated it, but he did well. And I said, you wouldn't be saying that if someone had a gun pointing to your head. And, we all can say we're against war, right? But when you have a terrorist coming after you, I think you may want somebody to help you defend yourself. So, I mean, I always honor all vets. Every time I see a vet, doesn't matter whether it was a just war or not, I say thank you for serving. So, anyways, yes, that's what one of them did. So, it doesn't matter. Adulthood means you are an adult and you make your choices. It doesn't mean helicopter parenting where I'm going to set up college for you. And in fact, I think it's best if most of the time in this day and age you do not go to college. Colleges are corrupt. They're turning kids away from their faith. I've got like this light on my head from that light. And, kids are losing their faith. College doesn't mean success. Success is following the values of Christ. That's what success is. It's not money. It's not looks. It's not nothing like that. It's being Christ, following Christ with your life. So being Christ-like. So, it just really bothers me to hear people say, you shouldn't have kids unless this, unless that. And as a matter of fact, like I don't even have work right now. And thank goodness for my kids. It's not living off them, but they have helped out. And I have chosen to pay them back when I do have money, etc. So, your kids actually can help you in life. It's not all one way. They can pitch in and help, etc. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, I'm going to connect a pastor talking about abortion in my community. If you want to listen to him, I think he's done a great job talking about the political side of abortion. So my nonprofit, I've been sick. I did do an overview of books yesterday, even though I was sick. Today I'm feeling a bit better, so I will get into the nonprofit stuff. And I have a ton of books. I probably have like 10, 12 books on my table right now to look at. And I did want to put my time with God first today, so I listened to a bunch of sermons. But it motivates me to start my nonprofit when I hear about the abortion stuff. And Kristen Hawkins, she had a post saying, did I just say this? My video was, yeah, I think I just said this. I already did a video too, and the way my phone works is if someone's texting me or something when I'm talking, my camera cuts off. So, what else was I going to say about abortion? Just, you don't need a lot of money to raise your kids. That's basically it. You can pretty much raise your kids on nothing. You can, as long as, you have some income coming in, which my husband did work, although it was low income, there was money coming in, and you can raise your kids on that. You can raise your kids on nothing. I mean, my husband's check mostly just took care of food and a roof over our head, right? So, you can raise them mostly just your time. Pretty much just your time. If you're a homemaking mom, you can do a million things, and everything from cooking to just, sometimes it's just organizing in a particular way where, things are taken care of better and you can use them again. Like we had a lady let me use her barn for storage. I had all my stuff that was given to me when we had my firstborn, and then we reused that for the second and third son, and then I had put a bunch of it away. It may have been after my second. Yeah, I think I actually did after we were told we wouldn't have more kids. The doctor said you can't have more after my husband's cancer. He said you can't have more, and we had 2 more. I think by that point I had gotten rid of my stuff, but for years I kept my stuff in this lady's barn. She had a barn, and she let me use her barn for free for storage, and I had like the crib, I had all their clothes wrapped up, blankets, everything wrapped up in a garbage bag really well so that, they wouldn't get ruined, and we just used stuff over and over. So, I mean, You don't even have to buy clothes when you have a second one or a third one. You can go with cloth diapers, nursing. What else? What else did I do? Oh, I made my own baby food at one point. I think by my third son, I read this magazine like Natural Mothering or something. So I was making my own baby food with a blender. And then, let me see, people gave us furniture all the time, so we didn't need to really buy furniture. Or a few times I picked up stuff at a yard sale, side of the road. Let me think what else. Oh, with the mortgage, when things were hard, when my husband had cancer, I got deferments, so I didn't have to worry about that. I went and got help with the city of Concord with the help with the food, gift cards, electric. What else did I get help with? Oh, rent. Yeah, our rent was only like $500 a month the time we left, so I got help with that. I got WIC, I got Medicaid. What else? Oh, for heat in the winter, I used CAP New Hampshire, which helps low-income people. They also helped with, what was it called, insulating our home so that we wouldn't be losing heat out the windows and the door. At one point, we had plastic on the windows to save money with the heat. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Food pantries. People gave us a lot because we had kids. There was one family we knew in church. Church is great when you have kids because they help a lot. We had one church pay for the kids' youth group events, field trips. I mean, I really didn't pay anything really to have 5 kids. I really didn't. It was just my time. And obviously I could have made a lot of money working more, but I did work. I mean, I did newspaper routes. When my first son was born, I worked at Hometown Market, and then I missed him. So that didn't last long, so I stayed home with him. But we had a family who had a bunch of bicycles. Their sons had outgrown them, so we got like 2 or 3 really nice bikes. We had a lady across the street just drop off groceries at the door. We had, I mean, just an amazing amount of help. And when my husband had cancer, we had the church come over and make us meals. They came over, they offered, they made us meals. They gave us money because my husband had like workman's comp and he was out of work for a while. One doctor bill was over $25,000. I think it was Concord Imaging Center in Concord, New Hampshire. They wrote off $25,000 for Christmas. I had the electric company pay our electric bill once. I knew someone over there. They had connections. They paid the electric bill. I had one of the pregnancy centers in Concord pay the electric for us. I mean, it was just amazing. I had, not only just the food pantries, but at Christmas time, you could go to the food pantries and they would help you with Christmas stuff. Salvation Army, they helped us with Christmas stuff. And all you had to do was sign up for the Christmas stuff. Over on Bog Road, I forget the name of the place, some pantry, some friendly kitchen pantry or something. I used to go there for a few years and get tons of stuff for Christmas for my kids there. Gift cards were something that they gave out that was really cool when they were teenagers because they were getting picky about what they wanted, as teenagers are, with their music, etc. So, use all the resources. It really doesn't cost much to have kids, and there really is no excuse for abortion, guys. And I didn't share this yet, but I will be sharing more about what exactly my nonprofit's going to look like. I'm not quite ready to share that. I shared it with one person who thought it, outside of my group, who thought it was an awesome idea. But until I find out who won, I really don't want to share. So that's what I got for now, guys, and thanks for joining me.